Nebraska will head to the balance beam next after a solid night on the floor. Leading things off for the third time in 4 events is the freshman Emma Spence. They clearly have a lot of trust in her.
Absolutely, but rightfully so. She is a huge competitor, and she's going to do great things throughout her career here.
Spence had a 9.7 on the vault, or 9.725, I should say, 9.675 on the bars, and a 9.75 on the floor.
And you know, this is the rotation that I've been looking forward to the most. The way that Nebraska just captivates the crowd through their elegance. It's almost balletic. It's very pretty to watch. And likewise, floor for Iowa State. They're definitely showstoppers on that event. You can see that Emma's elegance through her fingers and just the way that she dances. Huge connection, front aerial, back handspring, handspring. Again, a triple series that isn't required, but gives that little extra nudge to a higher score by the judges. Side summy. And if you're nervous, this is the event that it will show on. There's really no room for error, being only 4 inches wide. Here's that dismount, a round off 1.5. Great performance by the freshman. That is a hard event to come out and compete, let alone be the first competitor. So huge performance by Emma, great job by her.
Kelsey Boychuk kicks things off for Iowa State on the floor, their final rotation of the night.
Another pop song for a floor routine, kind of engages the crowd in a different level. You can see her teammates dancing along with her. Here's that first pass, around up at handspring, double pike. Now that is the type of landing that the judges are looking for. That was beautiful. Deep breath before that second pass. Round off, 1.5, front layout. Almost looked like her legs gave out a little bit. You want to see that front layout rise a little bit more than it did. But again, at this point, being on your feet is a good thing. Kelsey only competed on vault till the 2021 season, and since then, she has been a key competitor in both the vault, beam, and floor lineup, and has took over a leadership role in this team despite the senior class being quite large. Just the final pass here. Round up back handspring, double tuck. Great showing for Kelsey. Again, you can see that use of the mat. Now that is a great start for the Cyclones on this event. Here's a look at that first pass again, a round up back handspring, double pike. You can see how her chest is rising and she doesn't bobble her feet at all.
On to the balance beam for Nebraska is Michaela Curtis.
You're gonna see a really fun connection starting off her routine. Something that you don't really see a whole lot. A wolf jump right into a punch front tuck. Beautifully done. Back handspring, layout step out. Her legs were about as straight as you can be. Full turn. Every college gymnast's nemesis. It's required in every routine, and despite having done it since they were 9 years old, sometimes it gives girls a little bit of trouble. Switch leap, split jump. Great finish, keeping that chin up on the beam. That really shows confidence for these judges. They're looking at a little different angle than we are, so seeing your eyes lift and not look at the beam shows that confidence that you're captivating. And stuck dismount, beautifully done by senior Michaela. Round off 1.5. That is going to be a great score for Nebraska and exactly what they were looking for.
Ariana Orrego takes a seat on the floor to start her routine.
She is a great showman performance on this routine. She is the only Olympian gymnast from Peru. And she thought, oh, double tuck, a little bit of bounce back on that. She had so much fun the first time that she decided to do again in Tokyo for a second time and represent her country again, where she competed in the all-around. A little bit different this time around, I'm sure, without there being fans, but I know it was quite the experience for her. And again, she is another competitor that, seeing her growth, both athletically and personally, from freshman year all the way through to this senior year, it's really remarkable and very admirable. You can see her getting into it, a little bit sassy. A lot of enthusiasm from her teammates as she gears up for this final pass. A little bit different than the elite floor routine that she had for the Olympics this past summer. A little bit more showy, which college gymnastics loves to see. Beautiful double pike finish. Did not run out of steam there. She had a great floor routine. Love to see that performance side of her as well. Here's another look at that last pass. Round off back handspring, double pike, hard pass to end on, but she did it fabulously.
Asia Hall onto the balance beam for the Big Red.
She is one of the calmest competitors I've seen. Very elegant. Her fingers, the way that she, from her toe point and straight legs all the way to her fingers, there's not a detail that she misses. Oh, that is going to be a misconnection. She will not get the bonus for that. Beautiful front aerial. It almost looked like time stopped as she was in the air. She just floated so well. That is a hard skill since you cannot look for the beam. It's a blind landing, but she did it great. Round off 1.5, stuck landing. Great job. And to come back with that routine after her floor performance says a lot about her. And she did a great job handling the nerves and the pressure, and fabulous job done by Asia.
That was her first balance beam event as a collegiate athlete, finishing off her debut.
Pretty exciting.
Kaya Parker now hits the floor for Iowa State.
Kaya was out most of the season last year for an elbow injury, but she is coming back stronger than ever. She not only is a powerful tumbler, but she really is a great dancer and brings the energy to the floor exercise as well as the crowd. Round off 1.5, front layout. Very controlled landing. Kaya has really stepped up to the plate going on to her sophomore season. After that injury set her back. She's about to do big things for this team, a huge double back. Not only was it sky high, but that landing was about as controlled as you can be. That was a fun ending. Her teammates are very proud as she competed for the first time in a year. Very impressive young lady.
Kinsey Davis to the beam for Nebraska. Halfway through rotation 4 here.
Now, here is the person where I can say, loosen your shoulders up a bit, lean back, and just enjoy. Two back handsprings. I believe she was supposed to connect that into a layout step out. Back handspring, layout step out. Oh, shoot. So that is going to be a deduction. I don't know if the judges will count that since there is, she did do 3 back handsprings. Oh, shoot. Another very difficult skill, Brandy, with an aerial with 2 feet. In warm-up, she looked solid as ever. And I know she is capable of a lot. And again, you can even see through her dance how talented this young gymnast is. Taking lots of deep breaths throughout the routine. Still the dismount left. Aerial, a tuck full, stuck landing, a great finish after a little bit of a rocky routine. She is someone to keep an eye on this event, though. She is very beautiful and has a lot of potential. And I'm looking forward to see how she rebounds from this, moving on to her next meet.
Rachel Wilk.
A little mess up on the names there, but Laura Cook has a routine that all of Cyclone Nation, I think, may recognize if you ever attended a football game. Very great and fun performer to watch. Every facial expression, every flick of the wrist is choreographed, and she does a fabulous job. Front handspring, double full into a leap. Very, very difficult, but she did it great. Crowd's getting into it, clapping.
This is Red Foo's Juicy Wiggle, which is, as you mentioned, a favorite among Iowa State fans.
If flashlights were allowed, I'm sure Hilton would be lit up by everyone's cell phone flashlight. Definitely a crowd favorite. Really getting into it. That's what the judges love to see. They like to see you having fun. Final pass, round F 1.5, front full, very difficult again. I don't know where the judges are gonna find many of their deductions. That was beautiful. If they weren't lost in all the dancing, that was so beautifully done. Here's a look at that last pass again, so controlled. And you see how that front full is just about as high as that 1.5, which is exactly what you want to see.
Catherine Thaler on the balance beam for Nebraska.
Catherine has posted a 9.9 on this event before. And you can see why here. Full split in the back handspring, something you don't see on a lot of gymnasts. Showing off that flexibility, even in her skills. Front toss, very difficult. Tiny little balance check there. Shouldn't be too big of a deduction though. Looking for that stuck dismount now here. Round off, 1.5. Oh, just the tiniest little step there on her dismount, but wow, what a performance to come up after a rocky performance. That's amazing.
Andrea Maldonado on the floor for Iowa State. Another Cyclone back for her 5th year.
Laura Cook got a 9.9 on floor, which is huge for the Cyclones. Exactly what they needed if they're going to pull out a win on Nebraska. Andrea does have a skill named after her. It's a front triple full. Huge skill, but she is not going to be competing it today. Sticking with the double full front punch, equally as hard. She was a born performer, as was most of this Cyclone team. Beautiful front handspring 1.5. Really trying to get that crowd's energy engaged. Not only the gymnasts have to have fun, the whole crowd. Really, it's time for them to have fun as well on this event. That final pass, a round up back handspring, double pike. Oh, shoot. You can see in her face, not what she wanted, a little bit disappointed by that, but everything else was fabulous. Still smiling though. Just running out of steam at the end, as we saw in some of the Nebraska Huskers as well. Here's another look at that pass. First pass, front double full, front tuck. Pretty huge.
Kinsey Roby rounds things out for Nebraska on the balance beam.
Pay attention to Kinsey's flexibility on this event. Shoulder flexibility and that split that she shows in all of her skills is just impeccable. Her series, no movement on that landing. You know, I talked with Heather Brink before the meet, and she said that her intent going into this meet is really to work on the values, which are trust, unity, passion, and excellence. And her goal is to display that in everything that the Huskers do. And gymnastics is such a mental sport that if you go in focusing on those types of values, that'll help unify your team and hopefully create a better outcome. Just the dismount, side aerial, back full, sec landing. Great performance by the veteran, Kinsey.
Kinsey Roby finishes out her all-around on the beam.
Side aerial, back full. Great first competition put up by Kinsey.
And that's the end of Nebraska's performances for the night. Iowa State with one final one. Maddie Diab on the floor. Eerily silent before she gets started.
A little nerve-wracking, as if coming up after a fall isn't nerve-wracking enough. She has a lot of competitions under her belt though, so she is a fun competitor to watch. Her skills are, she makes them look easy, but believe it or not, they're some of the most difficult skills you'll see repeated on floor in the NCAA. You can see that her floor average is a 9.88, which is huge considering all the different floor competitions that there were throughout last season.
Diab enters her junior year, only competing on the floor so far. See some of the results from the Iowa State floor so far. That 9.9 put up by Laura Cook is good for an event win.
Oh, absolutely.
Assuming that she's not beat by her teammates here.
Which I'm sure the Cyclones wouldn't mind.
Here's what's going on for the beam scores for Nebraska at the moment.
You did see those beginning of season jitters kind of shine through in the Nebraska beam lineup, but as I said, they're one of the most beautiful beam workers that the NCAA has. And so once they kind of get those pre-meet jitters out and settle in really to their gymnastics, you're going to see big scores from them.
Nebraska had the highest scores on the first two events of the night. Kinsey Roby on the vault and Kinsey Davis on the uneven bars, but Iowa State set to win the last two with Macy Semple's 9-8 on the beam and Laura Cook's 9-9 on the floor. Cyclones, after today, head to Des Moines, short road trip, take on Temple at a neutral site at the Chow's Winter Classic. Then they hit the road for warmer temperatures, hopefully in Auburn, Alabama. Take on Auburn January 21st, and then a Big 12 meet back at home against West Virginia to finish out the month of January. They start February on the road at another Big 12 meet at Denver before taking on Lindenwood, Southeast Missouri State, and Illinois State at the Jim Quarters Invitational on the 18th of February. Nebraska, meanwhile, this is their first meet of the season for both teams, and then they go home to take on BYU on the 15th. They ring in Big 10 play with Illinois on the 21st. Maddie Diab finally set to go.
Finally got going. I know her teammates did a good job at keeping her loose and in a lighthearted mood before this routine. Beautiful front double full front layout. Same as Andrea's routine. Oh, is that your phone, Noah?
No, I've got an Android.
Oh, there we go. Little fun playing with the crowd. I'm sure everyone checked their phones, unless you have an Android. Front handspring, front layout, front fold. Really opens up beautifully there. Each salto was just as high as the last. She has really grown as a performer. She has found her style and is clearly having fun with it. Another tactic to engage the audience a little bit. Here's her final pass, a front handspring 1.5. Beautiful layout. She just floats in that skill, and it's so pretty to watch. And putting the crown on, rightfully so. In that anchor spot, she can expect a big score for that performance as well as performances to come. Here's another look at the front handspring layout. Front full into that jump, just kept going. Last pass, Rudy into a layout step out.
That does it for the events inside Hilton Coliseum. We'll have the final events. Looks like it's gearing up to be a tight finish, so we'll have that official final score. When we come back, we'll get you event winners and everything else right after this. Tabulations still in progress between Iowa State and Nebraska. First gymnastics meet of the NCAA season on a frigid Friday night at Hilton Coliseum. Alongside Angela Wolf saying so long from Hilton Coliseum, where the final score is Iowa State 194-450, Nebraska 194-425. All events airing on ESPN networks are streaming live in our